And our other big story is in Minnesota. We're tracking the fallout from the killing of a protester there. Cell phone video from the scene showed agents shoving Alex Pretti to the ground before at least one of the agents shot him multiple times. CBS News has been reviewing those videos, and we witnessed Pretti holding a cell phone in his right hand and nothing in his left. The video also shows an officer that took a gun from Pretti's waist right before another killed him. Police say he was licensed to carry that gun. Now, Pretti was an ICU nurse who cared for veterans at the Minneapolis VA hospital. In a statement, his family said in part, quote, "Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for." The son of a patient posted video online this weekend showing Pretti reading a final salute for a patient who had died.
Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it.
Now, Trump administration officials accused Pretti of approaching officers with his gun and becoming violent. Video from the scene, though, contradicts that narrative, and two witnesses filed sworn statements in court saying they never saw Pretti brandish his weapon.
When they tried to get him to disengage, he became aggressive and resisted them throughout that process. These officers used their training, followed their protocols, and were in fear of their lives.
I think it's deeply concerning, the things that are being said. It appears that he was present, exercising his First Amendment rights to record law enforcement activity, and also exercising his Second Amendment rights to lawfully be armed in a public space in the city.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us now. Natalie, good morning. The Trump administration, we heard there from Kristi Noem, seems to be characterizing Pretti as the aggressor. Help us understand the narrative that they're painting.
Yeah, and beyond that, Errol, the president and administration officials in various social media posts following the shooting has sought to blame Minnesota and what it calls far-left agitators. The president also accusing Democratic-led sanctuary cities of, quote, refusing to cooperate with ICE. But in a brief phone call with the Wall Street Journal, he indicated that the situation is under review. The Journal says it asked the president twice whether the officer who shot Pretti had done the right thing. The president said, quote, we're reviewing everything and will come out with a determination, according to this article. But the president also criticized Pretti for carrying a gun during the protest. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche also blamed a lack of cooperation with state and local officials and alleged Pretti was interfering as Border Patrol officers were conducting an immigration enforcement operation. Take a listen.
He was interrupting an ICE operation, and that led to a very tragic occurrence that every single person in this country hoped did not happen. But make no mistake about it, you cannot look at a 10-second video and judge what happened.
What side do you want to be on? The side of an all-powerful federal government that can kill, injure, menace, and kidnap its citizens off the streets? Or on the side of a nurse at the VA hospital who died bearing witness to such government?
And VA Secretary Doug Collins did confirm that Pretti was a nurse at the Minneapolis VA Medical Center. Now, here in Washington, Senate Democrats and Republicans, some Republicans, are calling for a full joint state and federal investigation. Republican Bill Cassidy notably posted a statement saying, quote, the credibility of ICE and DHS are at stake. Errol.
Yeah, Natalie, I'm going to look into that later in the program. Thank you very much. The Senate is expected to vote tomorrow on legislation that would avert a partial government shutdown, despite Democratic opposition to a measure funding the Department of Homeland Security. Following this weekend's shooting in Minneapolis, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said Democrats will not support the current DHS funding bill. And in spite of this, a Republican aide told CBS News GOP lawmakers intend to move forward with the vote as planned. Independent Senator Angus King told Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation yesterday he will vote against the DHS measure, even if it means shutting down the government.
I hate shutdowns. I'm one of the people that helped negotiate the solution to the end of the last shutdown. But I can't vote for a bill that includes ICE funding under these circumstances. What they're doing in my state, what we saw yesterday in Minneapolis,
Funding for several federal government agencies is currently on track to expire at midnight this Friday. Later this hour, we'll discuss the implications for government funding with our political panel, so stay close for that. But first, let's bring in CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Camilo, good morning. One of the big breaking stories we're covering is this second shooting death of an anti-ICE protester in Minneapolis. What is known about what took place right now?
Immediately after the shooting, the Department of Homeland Security and top Trump administration officials, Errol, made sweeping and categorical statements about the incident, calling Pretti a domestic terrorist, saying that he was armed, that agents fired defensive shots because they feared for their safety. Border Patrol Commander Gregor Vivino even suggested that Pretti was there to massacre, quote unquote, Border Patrol agents. But the video that we have seen and that the confirmed team here at CBS News has analyzed and reviewed has not shown any evidence that Pretti actually tried to pull out his gun or to brandish it in front of Border Patrol agents. And witnesses' accounts from people who have submitted sworn declarations, in federal court and who witnessed the incident have also contradicted the versions of events that the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump administration have made about the incident. So there are a lot of questions about the investigation, the statements that have been very categorical in nature by the Trump administration before a full investigation even unfolds. We have also now learned that, according to U.S. officials and the FBI director, it's actually not the Justice Department that has taken the lead role in investigating this deadly shooting, but instead the Department of Homeland Security and its Homeland Security Investigations Branch. That is highly unusual, and it's raising question about the agency basically investigating its own agents.
And by now, viewers will notice a similarity between what happened in the shooting death of Renee Good when state and local officials were not included in the probe.
Correct.
I believe the same is true now with Pretti. Minnesota and Minneapolis officials are excluded.
They have been blocked from actually accessing the scene and the evidence around the incident to investigate it by federal officials, but they have gotten a judge and convinced that federal judge to block the Department of Homeland Security from altering or destroying any evidence related to the incident. So that evidence, those facts, have to be preserved under this court ruling. The new question will be whether the Justice Department and the Department of Homeland Security actually allow state officials to work alongside them to participate in this investigation.
Now, the ICE deployment is part of the Trump administration's effort to crack down on illegal immigration and people violating the law. And I understand you have some new reporting on the second term of Trump's administration as far as the arrests and deportation numbers. What do they show?
So according to a Homeland Security document that we obtained, Errol, ICE has carried out more than 400,000 deportations in the first year of the Trump administration. That does not include deportations by Customs and Border Protection along the U.S.-Mexico border or by the Coast Guard of people interdicted at sea, but it is still a significant number. It is on pace to be the highest since the Obama administration, but it is still far short of that 1 million deportation target that Trump administration officials have set for an annual basis. This is why the administration, ICE, and Border Patrol are under tremendous pressure, really, Errol, to deliver on those promises to get to 1 million deportations a year and about 3,000 arrests every single day. That is currently not being met.
All right, Camilo, with all the latest on all of this, thank you very much.